Hello, I'm Brian Fitzgerald, the Golf Doctor, and if this is the first time to this channel, welcome. This channel is all about helping you play better golf, and of course one of the best ways to play better golf is to hit the subscribe button, click the bell notification, and then you're on your way. Today's video comes from a viewer, and his name is John and he comes from Western Australia. And Jack says, "Hi Brian, thanks for all your uploads and the time you give to your golfing community. I have a question about my swing that Jack Mills," and Jack was also known as John Mills, and he's an Aussie golf pro from Western Australia, and lovely man, had massive hands, and I met him a few times, and lovely guy. What is picking the club up mean, and shoulder tilt versus shoulder turn? So that's a really good question there, John, and this video is all about answering that question. And I've thought of a good place not far from here that I can show you the difference between shoulder tilt and shoulder turn. So John, the answer to the first part of your question is, what does picking the club up mean? Probably the easiest way that I can explain that is that a proper takeaway keeps the club going low a little bit at the start, and then it gradually makes its way up, because the golf swing is an arc and it's in a U shape. So when someone says that you're picking the club up, what it actually refers to is that you're hinging your wrists, you're cocking your wrists, you're lifting the club up very, very early, and your backswing is quite steep. So we don't really want to get the club overly steep in the backswing. So we just want to take it back nice and level with the ground just at the start, because eventually the club must rise. So we're letting the club rise naturally of its own accord. Now for the second question, which is really good, and it's called, when we swing the club back, do we tilt our shoulders or do we turn our shoulders? Now, I think the term shoulder turn is overused, and when I hear the word turn, and where most of the students that come to me for the first time start talking about shoulder turn, they assume that the shoulders turn like that. Now if you look at that, this yellow stick of mine is reasonably level. It's not exactly level, but it's reasonably level. Now when you turn your shoulders like that, that's creating a golf swing that's too flat and gets your hands way back behind you. So if you do that, at some point when you're doing that, you've got to come down, and you're going to probably hit yourself in the side. So what tends to happen is we start our downswing by moving the club out in front of you, which is called casting. So we do that just to give us more room. I much prefer, and when you look at golf on television, you will see the best players in the world tilt their shoulders. So it's still a type of turn, but I would describe it more as a tilt than a turn. So we're not moving the club back, keeping the yellow stick flat. We're trying to keep that nice, a bit steeper. So a good exercise that I use with quite a few of my students is I will get that stick there. Now if I swing a golf club, and if I'm turning my club, you can see that the stick is hitting the back fence there. Now if I get my shoulders tilting now, just wait for that car to go past. So if I think about tilting my shoulders a little bit more, now that the stick's not hitting the back wall, and that puts my downswing, or the position at the top of the backswing, in a much better position. My hands are not behind me, my hands are centrally located, which is a good place to start. And that's a really good way of practicing your shoulder turn. As I said, I call it more of a tilt than a turn. Other people might disagree, but we will certainly want it steeper. And you'll see that the best players in the world do tend to get a little bit more on the steep side than the horizontal side. Now, a really good drill that you can also use to help with your stability, and a lot of people, when they're when they do start tilting, they're going to tilt and they're going to straighten their spine a little bit. We need to try and keep our spines slightly bent. So a really good exercise is to stand there with your foot on the back wall. And then we tilt, and that helps to create disassociation between the hips and the shoulders. So if you can do that, right foot on the back wall, that creates the spine angle that we like. And from there, we tilt, and then we turn. Then we tilt, and then we come down. So it's keeping the shoulders a lot steeper. You can also do it on the other side. This helps to maintain posture. So we tilt, and then we turn. Tilt, and turn. Really good way of creating that disassociation that the best players in the world get. We'll do it one more time. So if you can do that, I think you'll find you're going to create a better shoulder turn. Your club is going to be in a much better position at the top. You're going to have less reason to compensate by getting the hands out in front of you in the downswing, and overall you're going to play a lot better golf. So thanks for that question, John. I hope you enjoyed the answers. So thank you for letting me help you with your golf. I'm Brian Fitzgerald, the Golf Doctor, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video.